of the recognition of the basic rights of your fellow human.
Thank you for your testimony.
The bill is 2 seconds away from the outdated, discriminatory 3 articles of laws of the 20th century, and I will not stand for it. We will not stand for it. We may not win today, and we may not win tomorrow, but we will persist, as we always have, in the fight of your oppression. If you wish to eradicate transgenderism from the public life, as members of your party have said, to quote a hero of yours, you can pry that from my cold, dead hands.
My name is Sophia Di Loretto Chetty. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm a 3rd grade teacher here in Austin. If you don't have a student in elementary school, that means that I spend 8 hours a day, 5 days a week with 8 and 9-year-olds. I heard someone earlier expressing support for this bill because drag, quote, exposes children to things that they are not ready for. However, if any of my students were able to join me here today, they would have absolutely no issue explaining gender expression or gender identity to you, something many of you clearly do not understand. And I get it, it's easy to be afraid of things you don't understand, but I can assure you, these things to elementary school students are easy and obvious, and they do not fear drag queens because they know they have no reason to. February and March are Black and Women's History Months, and over the last 2 months, my students learned the history of Marsha P. Johnson, a key historical figure in the LGBTQ rights movement. They were appalled that Marsha faced such hate and discrimination just for wanting to wear the clothes that made her feel comfortable. Like I said, the kids get it. And honestly, it's shameful that you're using them as a political weapon against a community that they may one day join if they haven't already. To me, it is clear that drag is not something that children are too young to understand and be exposed to, but actually something that many of you are too old and closed-minded to be making laws about. What is most disturbing to me about this conversation and the language of this bill is that its supporters is that your rationale continues to be that men dressing up in what you call women's clothing is what make drag queens sexual performers. But by making this argument, you are outlining your underlying belief that women's bodies and women's clothes are inherently sexual. It is deeply disturbing to me that this rhetoric will continue to uphold dangerous ideas about women and girls that put our lives and our bodies at risk. It is that rhetoric, not drag shows, that put our children in danger of sexual predators. I urge you all to vote no on these bills and focus your energy and efforts on the issues that actually put children in danger, like not having enough counselors on school campus because the state continues to deny adequate funding to schools.
Thank you for your testimony.
Madam Chair. Okay.
Thank you for your testimony. Please state your name and give us your testimony.
Heat from fire and fire from heat. My name is Loren Perkins. I'm a transgender person, and I'm here to testify against SB 12, SB 1601, and any future anti-trans, queer, or other LGBTQIA legislation that comes before this body. I have appeared before the City Council, but this is my first time that I've graced this chamber with my presence, so my voice may be shaky, my hands may be trembling, but it is not out of fear or trepidation, but out of indignation and righteous anger. I've been graciously provided by this body a mere 2 minutes to plead the case for my humanity. This morning, I spent not an inconsequential amount of time pondering what to wear, how to do my makeup, what I should sound like, how I could best present myself to make my humanity clear and obvious to this committee. Isn't that a shame? In reality, it should be obvious that I'm deserving of the same rights and privileges afforded everyone else. By hiding your bigotry behind children like cowards, you will find yourself on the wrong side of history. By manipulating the words of an ancient text and shoehorning it into legislation aimed at an at-risk minority population, you liken yourselves to another group that gained popularity in Germany in the 1930s. If you have ever wondered what you would have done had you been a member of the so-called greatest generation, then simply look around to what you are doing in this moment. When a small man with a smaller mustache stood before crowds and proclaimed himself superior to others, I see you here doing the same. The first books that the Nazi Party burned were those of Magnus Hirschfeld and the Institute of Sexual Health. Some of the first imprisoned under the Nazi Party rule were homosexual and transgender people. Likely the first woman to undergo a successful gender reassignment surgery was killed in that same prison. When those prison camps were freed by the Allies, we were the ones who were still kept in prison for our so-called crimes, for loving who we love and for living our truth. We can see through this veneer of legislation and assess the intended target, the continued marginalization and othering of the LGBTQIA+ community. rhetoric intended to strike fear into the hearts of the people of this state. I will not sit here and debate your fascist ideology, as peddlers of intolerance deserve no such stage on a public forum. I will not appeal to the notions of tax base, of jobs, or business growth in this state.
Thank you.
They are inconsequential of the recognition of the basic rights of your fellow human.
Thank you for your testimony.
The bill is 2 seconds away from the outdated, discriminatory 3 articles laws of the 20th century, and I will not stand for it. We will not stand for it. We may not win today, and we may not win tomorrow, but we will persist, as we always have, in the fight of your oppression. If you wish to eradicate transgenderism from the public life, as members of your party have said, to quote a hero here, you can cry that from a cold